Well, good Thursday afternoon to you. We've seen a lot of active weather this week. Notably yesterday, we saw a little bit of some damage there in Teller County. We took up to Teller County with the National Weather Service to survey the damage. There was a possibility that it could have been a tornado. We're here to confirm that it was just straight line winds, but there still was a lot of damage, especially around the Diamond RV Park in Woodland Park there. So for now, though, if you look at radar, there's a severe thunderstorm warning until 5 p.m. So for about the next 15 to 20 minutes or so, and that is near Walsenburg to the south of I-25 there. Then also a flash flood warning into Custer County. So a lot of rainfall coming down and also some storms, and that's because low level moisture is really supportive of it, especially on the east side of I-25 here. There's just a lot of storm fuel in order for us to see some storms. So for the remainder of the afternoon, as these start to push towards the eastern plains, they can really intensify. We can still see some severe activity here into El Paso County within the next 30-45 minutes or so. Some very gusty wind, maybe some small hail, so be on the lookout for that. But notice as it pushes towards the eastern plains, you can notice it intensifies. So we're going to keep our eye on the radar for the remainder of the evening, so make sure you're remaining weather aware as well. So as we go into tomorrow, you can notice here in the mid to upper levels, there is some water vapor imagery showing up here. This is moisture coming in. We have the southwesterly flow when we look aloft, and then also at the surface we do have dew point values that are pretty supportive of some storms and rain chances as we go into Friday. So notice here dew points by the afternoon and evening are into the mid to upper 50s. So with that, we could see some severe thunderstorms possible tomorrow. The main timing is into the afternoon, but notably I-25 and east towards the Kansas border. So notice here on Stormcast, we start the day relatively dry. We have some clouds, of course, because we have some low level moisture. We get rain chances first within the high country, but then by the afternoon, notice here as it hits those higher dew point values where we had higher low level moisture there, that's where we can really get that storm intensity start to pick up into the afternoon. That's where we get some gusty winds. You can also see some gusty outflows associated with that. Notice here some isolated cells there. So we're going to keep our eye on the radar, especially during the dinner time hours as it pushes towards the eastern plains there. But then by the evening, going into the overnight for your Friday, going into Saturday, we should be good to go. And the reason why that we're seeing a lot more severe activity to the eastern plains is because highs tomorrow a little bit warmer there, 88 there in Lamar, 84 in Springfield, 91 there in La Junta. So just feeling those storms. Highs across the board though, we start to take the stair step up. 80 there in the Springs tomorrow, 78 in Monument, 86 in Pueblo. As we go into Friday and the rest of the weekend, there's some dry air starting to infiltrate into the forecast. You're going to see that here in just a second going into Saturday and Sunday. For now, though, here's the downtown cam. Not the prettiest afternoon, seeing some clouds off in the sky. 77 degrees on the Phil Long Ford Motor City camera. Here's Pueblo on the Discount Motors camera, still warm there at 84 degrees. So I mentioned a pattern change. If we can get past Friday here with some storms going into the weekend, we still have storm chances, but we generally dry out, and that means that our temperatures start to bump way up. So notice here on the 10-day forecast, looking long-term, drying out going into the weekend, but then we warm up going into the start of next week. So that's the forecast update. I know Robert is out doing weather in your neighborhood, so I'm going to send it over to him and see what he's got for us.